The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, callers, and advisors on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2026. All rights reserved.
Coming up tonight, police seized 19 Ziploc bags of Rice Krispies treats. Were children the target for the edibles? We hear what the police found and how it all played out. Meanwhile, police are warning parents to be mindful of the games on the streets this summer as it relates to edibles and more. And later tonight, the Youth Empowerment Program, YEP, has wrapped its 2025-2026 program. How impactful was this year's program? And some of the top performers from this program this year. They join me. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, the Drug Enforcement Unit has arrested 6 adults for possession of marijuana-infused edibles. The edibles of choice, Rice Krispie Treats, a sweet treat made out of the Rice Krispies cereal. The edibles were packaged as if preparing to sell or distribute and has a street value of $380. I'll tell you that. It's quite worrisome, quite frankly, in that these are the summer months. Kids are out and about, roaming communities, riding bikes, doing vulnerable really to anything. And this is where we're going to begin this evening, right there. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines contributors, Ellington Ferguson and Howard Johnson. Gentlemen, good evening to both of you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas. Good evening, Howard. Certainly it's a pleasure to be here.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Ellington. And good evening, Bahamas.
Gentlemen, this is quite, we have seen what's been happening on school campuses where kids have gotten their hands on edibles. Groups of them at a time have had to be rushed to the emergency room because of this. And now today, we see police have made this discovery and subsequent arrests. Your thoughts on, one, how people who are meaning to do harm and obviously get kids involved in introducing them to drugs through edibles are going to these lengths? Because Rice Krispie treats are one of those very innocent looking treats that you don't necessarily think about.
This is one of the most unfortunate things when you have people and persons like this running in this business of drug running that seeks to secure the future of their business. Because if you can if we as parents can get our kids not to go down that path, that kind of kill that whole business. And so these people are deliberately attracting our kids and our children and trying to get our children hooked on these things. And once they get hooked on these things, it begins to damage their brains. It's one thing to talk about the benefits of marijuana for medicine. It's another thing when you're having the abuse of it. And when you start taking these drugs and giving them to children, that's abuse. When you start using it without using it for proper the medicinal value, then that's the abuse of anything. And the abuse of anything is what is the problem. And this is very unfortunate. I've seen this play out for years. It's happened before. And now you can see the people, like the police said, they continue to do it to wreak havoc on the innocent young minds of our children. We had, I think it was last year, sometime where a whole group of children had to be taken to the hospital from school.
More than once.
Exactly. And so we need to really, really deal with this, deal with these people that is trying to profiteer from this. It's a shame. It's a disgrace, quite frankly.
Howard,
yeah, and Shanique, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted Ellington mentioned about the dangers of it and introducing it to kids so soon, but also the use of unsupervised of this drug for such young kids.
Yeah, and Shanique, the thing about it is, when I saw the story, it talked about a couple who was first arrested by the cops, right? A young couple, a male and a female, and with those two persons was a child. Now, I don't know what the age of the child was, but this child could have gotten their hands on one of these treats,
Yeah,
and we
I
don't know
had the
what could
same
have
thoughts,
happened, right?
Howard. When I saw it,
Exactly.
Howard, I had the same thoughts. Like, wait a minute, a kid was around?
A kid was around. And that is appalling, and it's very disgusting. And it just goes to show the lengths at which people will be irresponsible to conduct themselves in illegal activities to make a dollar. And what I want, though, Shanique, for parents to understand is, while you do, as summer approaches, there's not going to be the daily structure and supervision of teachers and school personnel. And so now the full responsibility for supervision, it's going to be up to parents who we know still have to go to work and make ends meet, right? So a lot of the time, these kids are going to be in camps, and quite frankly, many of them are going to be at home unsupervised. So what parents need to do is have direct, age-appropriate conversations with their kids and let them know that, hey, there are some treats and snacks out there that may look like the actual real snacks, but they aren't. So we have to be very careful with what we take. Don't take anything from friends. Don't take anything that doesn't look like the regular packaging. And you have to really have these conversations and vet the snacks. So this is basically a snack vetting rule, right, that you're doing with your kids. And this is the way that one of the ways that we have to make sure that we protect our kids from this evil stuff that's going on out here.
You're right, and it's unfortunate because, I mean, well, for a minute now, we really were told not to eat from strangers, but even more so now. But kids are so unsuspecting. You imagine them riding the neighborhood on their bikes and
Yes.
various other toys.
Yeah.
And here it is, someone offers them a snack to be mischievous and whatever else it is. And imagine selling the kid this piece of treat. But it really is something that parents must now insist. If you don't know the person, in
Yeah.
fact, anyone, truly, anyone outside of a very, very close relative who offers you something that is unwrapped, that has been taken from something and put in something else, do not accept it.
Yeah, and Shanique, this is not just mischievous, this is diabolical. And I hope these persons are prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, because when you're talking about drug-laced treats, like what they call them now, Rice Krispie treats,
Rice Krispies.
you're targeting kids.
You're targeting
You are
kids.
targeting
Direct.
minors.
Yeah,
you are
because
targeting underage
Howard,
kids.
even thank you, because I was about to say, even teens who are more mature teens will not be interested in a Rice
Yeah,
Krispie treat, will
exactly.
not accept it. So the target is for kids. The target is for the 8-year-old who is out there riding his bike,
Yes.
the 8-year-old girl who is doing whatever it is she's doing. This is the
Yes.
target, and so you're right. This is diabolical, and thank God they were taken into custody, and we await to see exactly where this goes. Meanwhile, Howard
Yeah.
and Ellington, the police are now warning parents. How can parents bring themselves up to today's world and the evil that is out there? Sometimes the intentional mischief in the form of these edibles and other things that people are trying to lure their kids into.
I think, Shanique, like Howard alluded to, you have got, especially when your kids start to break into teenage and they would begin to interact with the outside world, even away from your presence, you've got to teach them about, the police showed you certain things to look for on these packaging. We got to kind of open up their minds to these things, to the danger of what it does to you, and so that our kids will begin to look at certain things or look for certain things on these packaging and to protect themselves. We must equip them and prepare them to kind of take care of themselves when they're away from us.
Yeah, and Shanique, again with the communication, right? We are growing our kids up in a world now where we have to have the good versus the bad conversations, right? And so we can put it in the religious context. We always talk about God and the devil and the angels and the demons. And so we have to drill down on that, and we have to let our kids know that there are good people and there are bad people. Now,
Absolutely.
what's tricky is when you see someone coming with a snack, an unsuspecting and unknowing kid would always be would more than likely be disarmed when an adult or an older person gives them a snack. That's a sign of friendliness, a kind gesture, right? So again, having those appropriate upfront frank conversations with our kids and saying, look, everybody that comes to you that appears to be nice and smiling and want to give you a snack or give you a treat, doesn't necessarily have to be a nice person with the best intentions, and what they give you can actually harm you.
Absolutely. Now, I want to ask you both, if you both look, this story, by the way, of course, you saw it on the newscast, but it has also, since earlier today, been posted on Eyewitness News online. The responses from people who read the story and are, I mean, absolutely demonizing the police is even more shocking, because obviously it's them who do not understand what the significance of this is. In fact, and what the fact that it can be very dangerous and ugly, because when the Rice, you pointed out so well, the Rice Krispie treats are for kids. And so if you are targeting kids as your market, and you don't understand, as whomever you are responding to this story online, and you are there vilifying the police and saying there are more serious crimes for you to go after. People are speeding every day, this and that. You all are the people, and we know that. So we have pushed that as well. Yes, go after the serious crime, but you want petty drug dealers to be able to just get away with, because it's weed, because it grows from the ground, and because it's not harmless. Let them sell it to your kid.
Shanique, go ahead,
Ali. All right. So Shanique, here's the thing, right? I don't understand what is wrong with some of our people, right? But here's the thing: you're looking at little kids, like you said. We're talking about 7 and 8-year-olds, 5 and 6-year-olds, right? I'm not a medical doctor, but we all have common sense. These children, their organs and stuff are still underdeveloped, right? And so with ingesting the right amounts or the wrong amounts of these drug-laced edibles can cause serious medical harm to these kids. I mean, and even death. So you can't say that the police should go after more serious crimes, because giving a kid a treat that can affect them internally in terms of their organs and their health can lead to a serious crime such as death.
As well as their
so
mental...
let's take the preventative measures.
Yeah, as well as their mental health.
Until something bad happens.
Yeah, we have heard of adults who marijuana being just sort of hit them in, I guess, the wrong way, and they had some sort of psychotic experience, Ellington.
But Shanique, when I read the comments below that article, I was both appalled and it was also scary for me. Appalled that adults think that it's okay that kids can take little treats and snacks infused with marijuana, not properly prepared, has all of the THC and all of the damaging stuff that damages your brain. I mean, and the silly comments about other things, like a cup of ginger tea is worse than, get them more higher than a smoke of marijuana. The concern for me is, wow, so these people are some of the parents of some of the children that we see in some of our schools with some of the issues. Maybe this is what these children are ingesting. Maybe their brains are already damaged. And that's why we see the kind of issues that we're having among young children in school and teenagers, is because these damage are being inflicted from the homes, some of these same homes where they think it's okay, I smoke marijuana, I think it's good, it's okay for me to either give my kids a joint or give them some gummies or give them some marijuana treats. It is very scary, very scary. And I think the police need to send out a warning even for those who think that it's okay for them to have these things, not to give it to children, whether it's your children or strange children.
Absolutely. By the way, of course, we talked about the couple who were arrested as they were spotted out in the western area of New Providence. They were a 24-year-old man and a 23-year-old woman. Meanwhile, when they got to the house on Graham Drive in Yellow Elder, 4 additional guys were arrested, and their ages are 18, another one was 18, 27, and 48. They too were taken into custody. Again, these are Rice Krispie treats, edibles, have a street value of $380. The people also say, and what is $380? The police ain't really have nothing to do with. I tell you, interesting responses, I'll tell you that for sure. Meanwhile, gentlemen, banking fees. We've talked about banking fees. We've talked about how you're being encouraged to do, or perhaps told to do every bit of your banking online. And there's a fee for that, up to $18+ that you are being taxed for that. But the second half of 2025 showed that banking fees have increased, with customers paying higher fees for many everyday banking services. Now, this, of course, came from the Central Bank of the Bahamas and their latest cost analysis and comparability on bank fees. This is what they produced and talked about, something else that we focused on today here at Eyewitness News. Gentlemen, I'll tell you, with so much or less in-house banking happening, where you go and stand on the line and be able to speak with somebody and get things done, and versus being redirected to the ATM, to hear that fees have gone up, you almost ask why? Why, and what, to think of perhaps alternative measures?
Well, Shanique, I think the banks in the Bahamas, each day they're learning that they can get away with doing more and more for themselves and less for the aiming public that they're supposed to be serving. And I've heard several persons spoke to this issue. I've heard the Honorable Frederick Mitchell spoke to this on several occasions. And I think during his term in office, I heard Dr. Minnis spoke to it. There's nothing, it seems like no government, no political leadership is really looking to touch this. I mean, the fees are becoming astronomical, and banks are realizing that, hey, we can get away with charging all these fees. We don't even need to be giving these folks no loans to help them or to advance them, or no business loans and all that type of stuff. We can get away with fees. You cannot save $100 in the bank. You cannot. I've done it before. I put $100 in the account and I left it there for a few months. When I went back, I owed the bank $9.
No way.
I owed
Wait a
the
minute.
bank
In
$9.
a few months, the $100 was gone?
I owed the bank $9. Okay? You pay to put it in, you pay to keep it there, and then you pay if you take it out.
You pay to think about the bank. When you think that, okay,
It's
you want to go to the
unfair.
bank and make a deposit or with whatever it is, when you think about that, they say, yeah, they thinking.
There's a fee. On
Let me
every
deduct.
transaction, there's a fee. You put it in, there's a fee. You leave it there, there's a fee.
You use the ATMs, so outside of that traditional dollar that it used to be to use an ATM, okay, fine, ATM fees. But even those now,
So
the more you do, the more
The
you
term
fees you are
saving
paying.
account doesn't even apply because it's not. They're constantly cutting that down. You only bank because you have to, and it's the way for you to do business and do things. It's very difficult, especially trying to operate a small business in this country. It's crazy. It's ridiculous.
Well, what Ellington is highlighting is a serious issue, Shanique, and it's so ironic that what's happening here is this. If you or Ellington put on a ski mask and grab a little pistol or something and go in the bank and hold them up with robbery, that's going to be 10 to 15 years at BDOCS, right? However, we look at what's happening here in this article, right? Well, the bank's doing the same thing. Only thing is they're doing it in code suit. They ain't using no mask. They are robbing us, and they're getting 10 to 15 as well. But they're not getting 10 to 15 years. They're getting 10 to 15 extra dollars. That's what they're getting from us.
Absolutely.
But when I look at this situation, right, Shanique, it really highlights two significant things that are very sad. The first thing is, we know that the banks are migrating, doing a digital migration, right? And I understand that. We do that here in the United States. I mean, you do most of your banking and everything online. That's the way that the world is going. The technological adoption is going to continue to proliferate. I understand that, but the fees are the problem. So when I look at this article, what's happening is that the vulnerable are being penalized because the banking fees are lower when you use the digital banking, right? And so what does this mean? If you are digitally literate, and if you have access to the internet, you can use the digital banking, which is the cheaper option. Now, for those people who are senior citizens, low income, or living in like rural areas where there's not really much internet, you are left having to utilize the physical and the paper stuff that you were talking about at the top of the segment, Shanique, that costs astronomically more. So people who are vulnerable are going to be penalized because the only thing they can do is use the more expensive option that is fee-based. And then the second thing is, what I would call essential events of targeting. In that article, it said that the checking accounts saw the biggest increase. I think it was 21%. Saw the biggest increase in fees. The checking accounts. Now, the adult checking accounts. And these adults on these checking accounts are the people who do what? Who are working and who have to pay rent and who have to pay bills.
Yep.
So this is exploitative and it is intentional because you cannot do without these accounts where they raise the fees the most because that's the way you have to pay your bills.
That's the way you have to pay bills
That's the way you have to pay your bills.
And get things done. You're absolutely right. I mean, that's sort of the way the world has just trended, and we've all had to catch up and adjust. As simple as that. Now, you know, in Ellington, you mentioned that lawmakers have spoken on this time and time again. Why is it that nobody can seem to actually, and I'm talking specifically the banking fees, how can no one actually address it? Now, I'm not even talking about the interest rate. That's a different matter entirely, that you get on your monies. You heard Ellington say he had $100 in the bank and went back a couple of months later and he owed the bank $9. And so, but how is it that these fees, these astronomical fees, have not been able to sort of be addressed?
Shanique, the strange thing about it is, I'm not sure what's going on, what the protection is, but our political directorates, some of them recognize this, and like I mentioned earlier, spoke to it, but there is no movement from that group of people who I think has the power of all first to look into this and to speak to it, if not completely address it. And there seems to be like it's guarded, it's protected. Nobody wants to touch it. Thank God for the brave persons that have touched it several times.
Yeah, but to no avail, Howard.
To no avail.
Well, Shanique, in my estimation, there can be several things, but you have to look at the fact that, politicians have spoken to it, but for whatever reason, they don't have the political will or the political capital to make something happen. One has to surmise that there is a somewhat of an incestuous relationship that's going on with corporate Bahamas and the political elite. So, these people run in the same circles. They have caviar and stuff together. They pour money into certain person's campaign or even into political parties outright. And so when you do those things and you live in the air up there and you exist and play in the air up there, there are certain things that the regular Bahamians like us are just going to have to bite the bullet on, quite frankly. So this cat is going to be a little more difficult to belt, like Hubert Ingram used to say, belt that cat. This cat is going to take a little longer to belt, especially if what I believe is going on, and I don't mean to be cynical, is actually going on.
Well, interesting, Howard. I'd like to know what it is you think is going on. Gentlemen, I'll tell you, teacher shortage. We know that we are just really into the summer now, and the semester is just wrapped up, but Chester Cooper, Minister of Education, Deputy Prime Minister, appears to really be out front lobbying already to ensure that come the new school year that this is not the issue that it oftentimes is. Very, very quickly, because we have to wrap up right now, maybe if you each can just talk about his proactive step that he's taking in speaking to it and urging teachers to return.
I think, Shanique, the Honorable Chester Cooper is one of those high energy minister. I've seen him moving and working in tourism in his former ministry. I think he's bringing that same energy into education, and it's interesting to see how it's all going to play out.
Yeah, and Shanique, I think this is a great time, proactive move. School is just about to close, and so he's just getting, a good jump on it. I'm interested to see where they're going to source these teachers from. It's good that they're asking some of the teachers who may be sitting on the sidelines right now or doing something else and not in teaching, how they're going to recruit them. What are the incentives that they're going to use to get them to come back into the profession? And some of the recent retirees, to get them to come back for a few years until this situation is sorted out. But I think being early is the best thing to do.
It is, absolutely is. Of course, we will obviously, we always monitor the opening up a new school year in any event. So we will see how this all paid off and worked out for the Minister of Education. Meanwhile, though, I thank you very much. Ellington Ferguson here, Howard Johnson there. Thank you both very, very much. Excellent analysis, spot on perspectives, and just a wonderful hot topic segment. But don't go anywhere, because when this show returns, I'm going to focus on youth and the youth of YEP. Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash, Superwash's newest spokesmodel. And I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Uh-oh, luckily it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. It's big enough now to handle your big loads, you know. Yeah, like your comfort on your blanket. But just look at us. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Oh, stop! Damn! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes you, presses you, and entertains you 24/7.
This year, Island Luck Sportsbook sent one of their very own customers all the way to San Antonio to watch Game 5 of the NBA Finals. The Knicks closed it out right then and there. No Game 6, no Game 7. Our customer was sitting in that arena the night the championship was decided. That's the kind of luck we talking about at Island Luck Sportsbook. Winners live here. Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Well, in this segment of the show, we're shifting to some good news about young people. And I'm so happy to do that after the week and the weekend and then the week to this point that we have had. And so we hope to put a smile on your face and have you feel a bit warm and optimistic when you meet these people, these enrollees of the YEP program. You will know more about that in a moment, but they've been doing amazing work. And I'm happy to feature them tonight and tomorrow night. And so the Youth Empowerment Program, YEP, is into its 14th year. The program is a leadership and life skills initiative that equips young people in the Bahamas on tools to succeed in school, their careers, and in life. The latest enrollees were highlighted and recognized during a graduation ceremony this week. Now, Devonte Hanna, you know him for sometimes sitting right here or telling the news. Well, he is a volunteer with the YEP program, and happy to highlight this year's outstanding performers. Devonte, good evening to you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you here.
It's always a pleasure, Shani.
I know many times when we speak in the newsroom, you talk about the program and,
Yes.
and where you all are at and the various focuses for the because it's sort of like obviously put into phases and
Yeah.
little groupings throughout the year. So
Yeah.
let's just kind of lay the foundation first. Tell us about the YEP program. We know it's in year 14, but obviously the excitement and the energy is still there.
Yeah, so the Youth Empowerment Program is a holistic skills building program for students in grades 9 through 12. And it's actually a 30-week program that runs parallel to the high school calendar year,
Oh,
right?
so basically a year.
A year. So we've been with these students since October, but of course, like recruitment and all of that began in September once they went back to school, and it continued straight into May when we ended the year, and then on Tuesday past, we just awarded some of our top students at our awards presentation ceremony. And of course, those students would have been named Student of the Year, most outstanding 12th grade of the year, 11th grade of the year. But really throughout the year, we've been teaching these students so much about skills as it relates to marketing themselves or branding themselves. There was a time where I taught students about voting in the Bahamas, which was particularly interesting because we were actually going through the election process as well. There was also a time where we taught them about artificial intelligence, and we teach them about camping, and we have a camping retreat that happens every year.
So you all are mindful in the YEP program to obviously tweak and retool where necessary,
Yes.
because I heard you mention AI.
Yes.
That's obviously very present and something that's today in the future. And so it's not stagnant is what I'm trying to
Yes,
ask.
so we have a curriculum that is created every year for these students, right? And we try to revamp it every year because we recognize, as you said, the world is changing. And so when I was in the program some years ago, there was no AI to talk about, right? But now we introduce AI, we introduce a lot more professional skills building for these students, because we recognize in YEP, the best student is a versatile student. So you're going to be able to get
Yes.
a little bit of everything in the program.
Yeah, this is really, really awesome. And so, Devontae, I'm excited. Let's
Yeah.
jump in, because we've talked about it throughout the year,
Yeah.
and I just
And I
enjoy
even
hearing
asked
you.
you for a little donation to help us out, right? But you've been gracious, and we thank you so much for welcoming us on the show.
I
But
try,
yeah.
and I know it's the latest donation now. So yes, now
Yeah.
I understand I have to now give towards this donation.
Yeah.
tell you.
You know, our students, they work hard throughout the year, and a lot of it is supported by volunteers. I myself, I'm a volunteer, right? And so it's unpaid. And so we come to these sessions every week where we sit with these students for 2 hours per week, and we pour ourselves into them. And obviously that goes beyond just sitting there talking. You know, sometimes you on the phone with them when they're going through a crisis. They may get into an accident or something. They call you, just need to talk to you, but also you're pouring into your finances into them as well. You're also pouring into them those professional skills that you picked up along the way into them as well, because the end goal of YEP is to create productive citizens of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Which is so needed.
Yeah,
we
and-
absolutely see that.
And they say that every week in the YEP pledge, right? I'm not going to say the YEP pledge, but but they say they want to become productive citizens of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and that is our goal. And so we do anything that is necessary to ensure that once they leave this program, they can contribute to society in a meaningful way. You know, when we have students who have passed through the program that have gone on to get master's degrees, that have gone on to get PhDs, that are now on the police force, that are now making their way, like me, in journalism, you know, that are spreading their wings across the length and breadth of the Bahamas and even internationally. And that's what we want to do as volunteers. Every single year we get in a new crop of students. We're going to continue working with them and help them and push them to be the best they can possibly be.
What makes this 2026 graduating class and even the enrollees for this 2026, 2025, 2026 year so outstanding in your opinion?
All right, so it wasn't necessarily a graduating class because we have students from grade 9 to 12, but the awards presentation ends the year, right? For me, what's so special about the year is not only is it my first year as a volunteer, but a lot of my students from Southwest One actually walked away with top awards. And you're gonna meet some of the students who were spread across the program who won those top awards on Tuesday night. So we have the Student of the Year Award, which is the big award of the night, and then you also have the grade level award. So there's a 9th, 10th, 11th grade of the year award. There's also a officer of the year award, and then we also award students who are most improved throughout the program. So those are the students who may not be up for the big awards, but we've seen the steady improvement over the year, and we have an overall most improved student. We have shining stars, rising stars, and then we also have a memorial award that is awarded to not only the most improved student, not the most improved student, but to a student that goes above and beyond the call of duty, and also for a volunteer as well.
So it's obviously academically it's doing that, but
Yes.
it's those key wonderful intangibles that make life and a society so much better.
Yes.
Last evening on this show we talked about how the Japanese rear their youth and from kindergarten age they are instilling life skills.
Yes.
And they are teaching them how to be respectful and how to understand what life is all about. This is incredible what you're doing.
And that is what we do every single week. We teach them those life skills, the little small stuff like when you walk into a room, you need to introduce yourself correctly. When you sit down to a table, ladies, you need to cross your feet at the ankle. Gentlemen, you need to have
ankles,
right.
yes.
Gentlemen, you need to have a firm hand shake. You know, we teach, and then also one of the things that I absolutely love about the program is that we also every year we have a speech competition, and every student has to participate in that speech competition at the district level. And we know that public speaking is one of those skills that many people can't seem to conquer, right? And so even at the 9th grade level, we are teaching them those skills, and we're bringing in professionals and Toastmasters to come and show them, this is what you need to do. This is how you prepare a speech, because we know once they go to college, there's going to be a time when they have to do a presentation.
All the time,
right?
yes.
We know once if they move into management at their jobs, they're going to have to do presentations. And so this is skills that we're teaching them from early on. And, you know, if you're in the 9th grade and you're in the program, you move straight up to the 12th grade, you have 4 years of that constant practice. And of course, you always can lean on your volunteers, your mentors, advisors in the program as well.
As far as you can see, and obviously you've been with these students since last year, let's just talk about how you've seen these skills make an impact and how it's changed a student who was maybe a little reserved, or a student who wasn't as confident, a student who maybe had issues and needed a bit of polishing.
Yes. So I'll talk about some of my students, right? Because I spend the most time with them. But the student of the year right now, Samia Munnings, who we'll meet, I wouldn't say she's shy, but Samia is one student that you have to push her to go out there, right? She hates public speaking. But I remember this one time we were getting ready for the speech competition. She said, Mr. Hanna, why do I have to do this? I said, you want to be the student of the year, right? And she said, yeah. And she did it, you know, and she did the work, and she did what was necessary, and she came out on top. I'll also talk about another student of mine, Kamigo Pierre. You know, Kamigo was one of those students where he's tethering on the edge. You told me, you know, Mr. Hanna, I ain't really going to school like that. You know, I said, Kamigo, you need to go to school. Kamigo was able to graduate this year.
So he was not interested in attending classes?
No. And I mean, you know, you have those students like that.
Of course,
you know,
yeah, absolutely. But it's good to see how YEP has turned him around and caused him to see his education in a way through the right lenses, because it's important. Obviously, we know that it's important to go to school, go through school, obviously graduate, and then be able to move on with your life.
And we like to be there as a safety net to catch these students. You know, some students who may slip through the cracks. For me, I don't necessarily like to focus on the students that I see up and beyond and doing the best.
Sometimes they need
a little push, but I like to focus a lot of attention on those students who are at risk, you know, that we commonly hear about when the minister speaks about it. You know, I like to push them, get back in school. Let's complete this assignment. If you need help with this, let me know. You know, if you're looking for a job, I don't want you on the streets. I'm going to help you. I'm going to reach out to my bag of contacts and see if I could get you something to do. You know, and it's not just me who's doing that, but the countless of volunteers that are in the program today and those that have been in the program for the last 14 years. I am a product of this program, so I know what it can do, and I know how much it can help a student. And for me, I just felt particularly led to do the same and even go beyond and take it an extra mile to help these students.
What message do you hope that YEP, especially in this cohort, that the graduates take with them, whether they be going to university, to open their own business, to in the workplace, wherever it is their next step is? What do you hope they take from YEP?
So our national theme for this year was embracing excellence. And I want every student to remember that you have to embrace excellence no matter where you go. And we all spoke about it, that excellence doesn't look like being perfect. Excellence is taking those missteps or those mistakes and building upon them, creating a solid foundation for yourself to move on to the next phase of your life, move on to the next period. You know, you have to be in constant growth no matter what you do and where you go. And so hopefully the students that are leaving the program, the 12-year seniors, I'm particularly fond of them. You know, they're my first group of seniors. I love them so much. But, you know, I hope once they enter into the real world, as we call it, enter into the college world, they remember the lessons that they learned, and they remember that their mandate, that was set from the first meeting in October was to embrace excellence. I hope that they do that throughout the rest of their lives, really.
Yeah, and you know, Devontae, as you've often sometimes come at the most inappropriate times, Shanique, help out with this, help out with that.
Yeah.
But seriously though, how can parents, teachers, stakeholders, business owners, community leaders, whomever, how can they help out and ensure that YEP stays around for another 50 years, another 100 years, to be this impactful?
Yes.
And turn the lives of young people around so that they move forward in the best light?
Yeah, we like to say at YEP, it takes a village to raise a child, right? We are a part of that village, but also a part of that village is corporate Bahamas. And you know, you've heard, like you said, I've come to you guys in the newsroom, hey, I need $20 to feed a child. We go in this place and we need to do this, right? But everybody, in order to build a better Bahamas, you have to contribute to the young people that we have now. And so you could reach out to us on Facebook at the Youth Empowerment Program Bahamas. You could also reach out to me. You could reach out to, let me just get the email 1 second. There's a lot of things that have been going on this weekend. You could reach out to the YEP office as well. And obviously, you know, you could go to our website at yepbahamas.org and you can make a contribution there.
Say that a bit slower.
yepbahamas.org and you could make a contribution there or get in contact with us. And I'm sure if you look into your circle, you may find somebody who is a part of the Youth Empowerment Program. You may find a student who's a part of the Youth Empowerment Program. They can connect you with their district managers because you could donate to the YEP office, but you could also help a district manager in who directly deals with the kids every week, whether it be like something small, like buying them a meal or helping them go somewhere, you know. There's a lot of opportunities for people to come out and help and support.
That's excellent. Now, who are we going to meet after the break?
So, we're going to meet Samia Munnings, the Student of the Year 2025-2026, and we're also going to meet Ethan Colbrook. He's an 11th grade student, but a shining star in our program nonetheless. One that I think will do wonders in the next year. He may very well be the Student of the Year next year, but you know, he is gonna talk a little bit about his year and the award that he won.
Awesome, awesome. Looking forward to meeting them. Don't go anywhere. It's a spotlight on the YEP program and the high achievers, the most outstanding students. They all were, but certainly the ones who just went a little above and beyond. We're focusing on them tonight and tomorrow evening. So our first group is right after the break.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay eatin' well.
Yeah. Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Our focus on the high achieving youth of the 2025-2026 YEP program continues. And so I'm so happy to welcome to the show Samia Munnings, who is Student of the Year. She was given that honor just on Tuesday evening at the graduation ceremony. And Ethan Colbrook. Ethan is the recipient of the Lionel R.S. Elliott ABCD Memorial Award. Of course, that is for the student who has gone above and beyond this year. And so congratulations to both of you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you both here. I'll tell you this, it feels good to say this. Bahamians are super happy to see this display tonight on the show because it gives us hope that every young person in the Bahamas is not sort of lacking focus, that there are many who are doing amazing things and even going and picking up extracurricular activities like YEP to be able to do more and be more focused. What brought you both into or made YEP so appealing for you to become registered in and enrolled in, obviously, and then go through the program? Maybe, Ethan, maybe you can start.
Okay, so for me, I would say I first learned about YEP sometime last year, October. I was doing a project for a cancer group I usually volunteer with, and they were doing their annual bake sale, and I so happened to saw them out there, and they bought something from me, I bought something from them, and I told them, I said, next year I will definitely join YEP, and I fulfilled my promise and joined YEP.
Did it stand out for you to, because you're an 11th grader, even though you won this award, we'll talk about that in a minute, but was it so significant for you that you're going to enroll again and go through your 12th grade?
Yes, definitely.
Really, really super. Now, of course, Samia is the Student of the Year, the graduating student. She also graduated 12th grade just last month, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, last month. How about you? What made YEP so appealing for you?
For me, I've been an attaché of the YEP program for about 14 years, but it was in grade 11 when my friends, they all joined the Youth Empowerment Program, and we all went as a collective.
And you have no regrets, obviously.
No regrets at
now
all.
Talk about the Student of the Year award. Like, what made you decide you're going to go full out and not just kind of be there and have something to do maybe for an hour on whatever evening it is, but that you're actually going to take advantage of the program?
My hard work, my dedication. I constantly participated throughout the program, showed what a leader should do. So I feel as if that.
Did you grow in that role as well, in that leadership role?
Yes, ma'am.
Did it take a lot to have you to pull something, out of you?
Yes, ma'am. In a way.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Ethan, how about you? You won the Lionel R.S. Elliott ABCD Memorial Award. First of all, tell us a bit about who this person is and this award is named after, and how do you think that it prompted you to go above and beyond?
So this person is a very dedicated person. I would say it's named after them because they never let the obstacles got to them. They always showed up and showed out, and when a speed bump, they would slow down and make sure they get over it successfully, and they wouldn't go too fast or too slow. I would say to receive this award, it was a blessing, and I would also say that people pushed me to actually help me get to this position. So
there's a lot of support in the YEP program.
Yes.
To really kind of bring out what's in there, and you may be reluctant to initially show it.
Yes, ma'am. We have great mentors like Mr. Devontae Hanna.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Listen, he goes to bat for you all often enough, I tell you. Let's talk about the impact of the YEP program on you both, right? How has YEP influenced your goals and careers, especially you, Samia? You've graduated. I mean, like you now looking at the real world face, like here. How has YEP, you think, prepared you?
Yeah, I feel as if the Youth Empowerment Program improves me by helping build my confidence. I feel as if the program shaped me into the individual that I am today. The program taught me leadership and communication skills through discipline and teamwork. Everybody has to come together to make one big goal.
And Ethan, how has the YEP program improved your relationships with peers, with family, with your community?
I would say it's influenced me quite well. Me as a person, I love to stay busy and active and work. And so YEP, they would often host grill outs and bake sales. So it gave me a chance to stay busy and stay active and just stay on the right path. And it would also help me to meet new people along the way, not just stay in my own little circle, but find other people from different areas. And
what do you both want to say to young people? Young people in the Bahamas, generally speaking, don't have the best reputation. What do you want to say to them in terms of YEP, getting involved, enrolling, and also what it is that they can, how will they be benefited, you think?
so I would say that young people nowadays, they probably look to relieve themselves with substances, and they tend to go the wrong route because they don't have the proper channels to help them get through what they're going through. So I would say YEP would be an escape, and we also have people in place to help you, and whatever you're going through, they don't judge you. They sit down, they listen, and they make sure that you get the right help, and they guide you along the way in terms of school, social life, or even personal life experience. Someone is always there for you to help you and be there for you.
To back off what Ethan said, you develop leadership skills. The program, you have to show that you are capable and that you wanna do something. You also gain confidence and make lifelong friendships. Like Ethan, I'm sure 5 years from now we'll still be friends. And then you'll also have a chance to experience real world skills that'll help you in your school and future career plans.
I wanted to ask you about that 5 years. Like, where do you see yourself as a result of going through this program? Obviously, you both are great students, just generally, you give that off already. But as a result of what YEP has been able to include in your continuing evolving, what do you think 5 years will look like for you both from now?
So for me, I would say in 5 years, I would hope to still be active in the program as a mentor to try and inspire young people in the next 5 years, because the children coming up under us are the future of the Bahamas as well as ourselves. And so I would say I would try to stay active in the program and help out and just keep things going.
I say the same thing. I plan to come back and help with the program after going off to college to Canada to study construction engineering, technology management. I'll come back and help young kids.
Sounds good. It's so awesome. Congratulations to you both again for an amazing job. I hear through Devontae, of course, how well you two and the group is performing, and just how great the various, whatever those disciplines are that's being introduced, and how well you're working through them and doing. And so that's amazing. Of course, looking forward to the next cohort. But congratulations once again, Ethan and Samia. Congratulations, Samia, of course, as you head off to university. Continue to do very, very well. And Ethan, maybe you'll be back here next year when we talk about you being Student of the Year and whatever else you've been able to bring to the program along the way. I thank you both very much, and congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good to see you soon.
Well, good to see you as well. Bring him back. I tell you, bring Ethan back. But listen, I thank you again. Congratulations to Bonte. Congratulations to you and the team of volunteers and those who obviously make up the executive arm of the YEP program. You're doing an amazing job. It's needed, and the Bahamas salutes you this independence. I thank you all once again so much for tuning in this evening. It's been awesome having you hang out. I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.